Thanks, Joey, for that. I think that it sort of gives us a sense of what to expect for that team that will be doing some work after today. But I think that a round of applause should go to yourselves for being able to be here and make such important contributions into this particular process, and hopefully that is going to give us a way forward in terms of what to do. So a round of applause to yourselves. I didn't think that I would go through a summary or a serious summary of what has been done today, because I think that the commissioner in the morning opened with quite a few words that I think added value to what we're doing today. And yesterday, I think Belinda closed the session in terms of what we were doing yesterday. But I thought that some of the important elements that we went through today, Joey has a summary of it on those particular slides. But I think that when you look at the presentations that actually happened today, they were talking to the crux of what we should be thinking about. For example, the issue around the early adopters that we started with, I think it was the Ghana's implementation, and the kind of the lessons that we are beginning to learn from those actually added a lot of value in terms of what we should be thinking about going forward. But also the issues around when you look at the sustainability reporting itself and the corporate strategy of the organization, it's important that when you look at sustainability reporting, we must know that the strategy of the organization is directed as such to make sure that we achieve that kind of outcome that we would want to see. So I think that there was a lot of good inputs that were made by that particular panel, which I think I included in the summary that Joe was actually doing. But also, I think I looked at the interesting point, and I think that the panel before the last one made also that point around I think it's the last panel, around the sustainability and the next generation. I think Caroline spoke about that specific issue. The point was that the issue of sustainability is beyond us. It's about what we are going to live when we are no longer there also. And I think that that consciousness is what we need to continuously build to make sure that we do not become selfish in our approach to say we want to comply now, or we want to deal with the issues of the sustainabilities now, or we don't want to deal with them now and burden the generations to come. So it's a broader and a long-term agenda that we should be looking at, I think. And then the other one was around the discussion that Blaise led, which was talking to the issue of who should be required to report. I mean, this is a discussion, this is an engagement that is going to shape the future in relation to answering that specific question as to who should be reporting, who should it be compulsory with. And I think Joey referred to the issue of how do you implement the gradual implementation of it, the phasing of it, maybe the question that may come at a later stage, and then we decide what is it that need to be done around that. I think it was an important discussion, and it's something that I think the team will be able to take forward and say what is it that should be happening with it. But also the issue of the readiness assessment, some of the important players in the issue of the readiness assessment, I mean the preparers of the reports and the providers of the reports, they actually are linking back to the discussion that we had yesterday about the capacity for reporting, which I think that is one of the important aspects. And some of the organizations are making some inputs around these issues, and I think that like SAICA and all of those kinds of ones that may be making an input on these ones to say how do we strengthen the capacity of those ones who are preparers and those ones, IRPA as well, around those ones who will be providers of such information and reports. And then the other aspect is around this multi-regulatory digital taxonomy. I think Michael's presentation also gave us a sense of what some of the things that have been achieved under the issue of the XBRL that we're basically talking about. And I think that there's good progress there. But it's a question of what lessons can we learn and who do we collaborate with going forward, and what kinds of the outcomes that we would be looking at when we're basically dealing with those specific aspects. So I think that there is a lot that has been covered in the 2 days that we have been here. And I think that the way forward of the kind of the work that we have done now will be advanced tomorrow when the team is set up and is going to be engaging with all of the stakeholders that are actually relevant in the process that we have. But I think that it would be unfair for me not to acknowledge the kind of work that has been done by the team that included Joey and his team, and the kind of the work that they have done in preparing for what we have had over the past 2 days, and all of the other stakeholders that they have been working with. Should it not have been for them, we would not have been here today. And I think that they deserve a round of applause for that kind of work. And I think that the panels also did a great job in terms of trying to extract as much value and input into the questions you are dealing with. And I think that a round of applause should also go to them. And the presenters as well. The presenters, I mean, there's no presentation that was not worth listening. I mean, every presentation came with something that we can take into the mix and shape the kind of the product that at the end of the day we will come with. So I think those ones should get the round of applause again. I think all of the other colleagues that were actually here participated physically as well as virtually. I think that this was quite an interesting engagement, and the 2 days were really fruitful. And I think that our IT team, digital team, did not disappoint. I must be honest. We had minimal, barely any challenges that we actually experienced, and whatever that may have come through was well managed. So we appreciate the kind of the work that has been done. So with those words, colleagues, I think that we should close the session and appreciate all of the work that you have done, and hope that we are going to be working